Welcome back to Income Decoded, the channel where we break down real strategies for making real money online. No fluff, no fake gurus, just pure financial intelligence that you can actually use. Now today we are doing something a little different. No formulas, no spreadsheets, no action steps with numbers. Today we are going somewhere deeper. Today we are talking about what actually separates the people who build real wealth from the people who never do. And I am going to tell you right now, it is not income, it is not education, it is not luck, it is not connections. It is how they think. There are people earning $30,000 a year who are quietly building real wealth. And there are people earning $200,000 a year who are completely broke, not because of circumstances, because of mindset, because of the specific thoughts they have about money every single day. And here is what makes this video different from every other rich versus poor mindset video you have watched. We are not going to talk in vague inspirational terms. We are going to go through 7 very specific concrete differences in how two types of people think about the exact same situations. The same dollar, the same raise, the same problem, the same failure. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which mindset you currently have. And more importantly, you will know the exact thought you need to replace in each area. Let us get into it. Difference number 1, how they see a dollar. Here is the most fundamental difference of all, and once you see it, you will see it everywhere. A normal person looks at $100 and asks one question: what can I buy with this? A rich person looks at $100 and asks a completely different question: what can this $100 make for me? To a normal person, money is a destination. You earn it, you spend it. The cycle repeats. The goal is to have enough money to buy the things you want. Money flows in and money flows out, and the space between is where life happens. To a rich person, money is a tool. It is not the destination. It is the vehicle. Every dollar that comes in is not just a dollar, it is a potential seed, and a seed that is planted grows, a seed that is eaten is gone forever. Think about what this means in practice. A normal person receives a bonus. Their brain immediately starts spending it. The holiday they have been thinking about, the new phone, the dinner out to celebrate, the money is already gone in their head before it hits the account. A rich person receives the same bonus. Their brain immediately asks a different question: where do I deploy this to generate the best return? Not how do I enjoy this, how do I multiply this? This is not about being miserly. Rich people enjoy life, they spend money, but spending is a conscious, deliberate decision, not a default reaction. The shift in thinking is this: stop asking what can I buy, start asking what can this buy for me in the future. Difference number 2, how they react to getting more money. Let us say both types of people get a pay rise of $500 a month, same amount, same moment, completely different outcome. The normal person thinks this is great. Now I can afford the nicer apartment. Now I can get the better car. Now I can eat out more. The lifestyle upgrades happen almost immediately, automatically, without any real decision being made. The spending expands to fill the new income. And 6 months later, the $500 is gone, not spent irresponsibly, just absorbed into a slightly more expensive version of the same life. The rich person thinks something completely different. This $500 is fuel. Before I touch it for lifestyle, I am going to let it work. They invest the raise before they spend the raise. The lifestyle does not change immediately. The asset column changes first. The investment goes in automatically. The lifestyle only grows slowly and intentionally once the assets are growing. Here is the result over 10 years. The normal person has a slightly nicer apartment and a slightly better car. The rich person has compounding investments that are now generating their own returns. Same raise, opposite outcomes, different thinking. The shift is this: every income increase is fuel first, lifestyle reward second, never the other way around. Difference number 3, how they think about time. This one goes deep, and most people have never thought about it this way. A normal person trades time for money. They sell their hours, they get paid. They sell more hours, they get paid more. The entire financial model is built on this exchange. More work equals more money, less work equals less money. Time and money are directly linked. This feels completely normal because it is how almost everyone starts. But here is the ceiling it creates. There are only 24 hours in a day. Even if you work every single one of them, there is a hard limit on how much you can earn. You can never earn more than time allows. You are the bottleneck. A rich person thinks about time completely differently. They do not just sell their time, they build systems that earn while they sleep, assets that generate returns without them being present, a business that runs with a team, an investment that compounds, a digital product that sells forever, content that generates income years after it was created. The question a normal person asks is, how much does this pay per hour? The question a rich person asks is, how do I build something that earns without me being there? This does not happen overnight. Everyone starts by trading time for money, but the rich person is always looking for the exit from that exchange, always asking, how do I remove myself as the bottleneck, always working toward a point where money comes in regardless of whether they showed up today. The shift is this: stop thinking about how much your time is worth, start thinking about how to build things that earn when you are not there. Difference number 4, how they handle failure. Both types of people fail. Let me be very clear about this. Rich people fail constantly. They fail at businesses, they fail at investments, they fail at ideas. Many of the wealthiest people in the world have been completely bankrupt at some point in their lives. This is not rare, it is the norm. The difference is what happens in their mind when they fail. A normal person experiences failure as a verdict. It means something about them. It means they are not smart enough, not lucky enough, not the kind of person who succeeds at things like this. Failure is a stop sign, a signal to go back to safety, to not try that again. A rich person experiences failure as data, not a verdict. Data, information. The business failed because of this specific reason. The investment underperformed because of this market condition. The idea did not work because of this gap in the market. Every failure is a lesson with a tuition fee. They ask a completely different question after failure, not why does this always happen to me, but what did I learn from this and how do I apply it next time? This mindset change is enormous, because when failure is a verdict you stop trying, when failure is data you keep going with better information. Every person who has built real wealth has a list of failures longer than most people have attempts. The difference is they kept going, they used the data, they applied the lesson. The shift is this: stop treating failure as a verdict on your worth, start treating it as expensive tuition in the school of building wealth. Difference number 5, how they see other wealthy people. This one surprises people, but it is one of the most important differences on this list. A normal person looks at someone wealthy and feels one of two things, either resentment or envy. The rich person got lucky. The rich person had connections. The rich person was born into the right family. The system is rigged in their favor. It is not fair. Now, I am not saying wealth inequality is not real. It absolutely is. The system absolutely has unfairness built into it, but here is the critical point. Resentment toward wealthy people is a poison that only hurts the person who drinks it. Because resentment closes your mind, you cannot learn from someone you resent. You cannot study how someone built something if you are busy telling yourself they cheated to get there. Every lesson they could teach you is locked behind the wall of your own bitterness. A rich person looks at another wealthy person and feels something completely different: curiosity. How did they do that? What decisions did they make? What did they see that others did not see? What can I learn from this? Curiosity opens doors, resentment closes them. The people who build the most wealth are students of other wealthy people. They read their books, they study their decisions, they look for the patterns, they ask, what can I take from this and apply? The shift is this: replace resentment with curiosity. You do not have to agree with how someone built their wealth. But the moment you become curious instead of resentful, you open yourself to learning that resentment would have permanently blocked. Difference number 6, how they talk to themselves about money. This is the most practical difference on the list, and it comes from Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and whether you agree with everything he writes or not, this one point is undeniably powerful. A normal person says, I cannot afford it. A rich person asks, how can I afford it? This sounds like a tiny difference. It is not, it is everything. I cannot afford it is a statement. It ends thinking. The brain hears it and stops. There is nothing more to do. The door is closed. The conversation is over. How can I afford it is a question. It starts thinking. The brain hears a question and it goes to work finding answers. Can I earn more? Can I cut something else? Can I find a way? Can I build something? Can I create a new income stream? Can I make a deal? Can I find an alternative? One phrase shuts the brain down, the other fires it up. Now, this does not mean you should buy everything you cannot afford by going into debt. That is not the lesson. The lesson is that the language you use about money programs how your brain responds to financial challenges. People who say, "I cannot afford it," their whole lives build a mental habit of stopping at financial obstacles. People who ask, "How can I afford it?" build a mental habit of solving financial problems. Over a lifetime, the difference in outcomes is staggering. The shift is this: remove "I cannot afford it" from your vocabulary completely, replace it always with "How can I afford this?" Let your brain go to work instead of shutting down. Difference number 7, how they see debt. A normal person has a simple rule about debt. Debt is bad, avoid it, pay it off as fast as possible, stay out of it. This rule feels safe and responsible. And for certain kinds of debt, this rule is absolutely correct. Credit card debt is bad, personal loans at high interest rates are bad, buy now pay later schemes are bad, borrowing to fund a lifestyle is bad. But this is where the thinking stops for most people. They put all debt in the same box, and that box is labeled danger. A rich person makes a completely different distinction. They separate debt into two categories. Bad debt is money borrowed to fund consumption, the holiday you put on a credit card, the phone you financed, the clothes you bought on a payment plan. This money goes out, it does not come back, and you pay interest on top. This is debt working against you. Good debt is money borrowed to acquire assets that generate income. The mortgage on a rental property that earns more in rent than the mortgage costs. The business loan that funds equipment generating 10 times its cost in revenue. The education investment that permanently increases earning power. The distinction is simple: bad debt funds consumption and evaporates, good debt funds assets and compounds. Rich people are not afraid of good debt, they use it strategically. They borrow at a low rate to acquire something that earns at a higher rate. The difference is their profit. Normal people are afraid of all debt equally, and by treating good debt and bad debt the same, they miss opportunities that could have built real wealth. The shift is this: stop putting all debt in the same box. Learn to distinguish between debt that takes from you and debt that builds for you. Eliminate the first kind aggressively, use the second kind strategically. Now, before I wrap up, I want to say the most important thing about everything we just covered. Not one of these 7 differences requires money to adopt. Not one of them requires a specific income level. Not one of them requires connections or luck or being born into the right family. Every single one of them is a choice about how to think. And I know that sounds like motivational poster talk, but I mean it in a very practical, concrete way. Right now today you can choose to start asking, what can this money make for me, instead of what can I buy? Right now today you can choose curiosity over resentment when you see someone with more than you. Right now today you can remove "I cannot afford it" from your vocabulary and replace it with "How can I afford this?" None of these cost a rupee or a dollar, they cost attention and willingness and the decision to think differently. The money shift always starts in the mind. Always, without exception. Change how you think about money and your behavior with money changes. Change your behavior and your results change. Change your results and your life changes. It is that sequence every single time. Quick recap of the 7 differences. 1. Normal people ask, "What can I buy?" Rich people ask, "What can this money make for me?" 2. Normal people spend every raise. Rich people invest the raise before they spend it. 3. Normal people sell their time for money. Rich people build systems that earn without them. 4. Normal people treat failure as a verdict. Rich people treat failure as data. 5. Normal people feel resentment toward wealthy people. Rich people feel curiosity. 6. Normal people say, "I cannot afford it." Rich people ask, "How can I afford it?" 7. Normal people fear all debt. Rich people separate bad debt from good debt and use good debt strategically. Now drop a comment below and tell me which of these 7 hit you hardest. Which one made you stop and think? Which one are you going to change today? I read every single comment and I reply to as many as I can. If this video gave you even one idea, please hit the like button right now. It takes 2 seconds and it genuinely helps this video reach more people who need to hear this. And if you are not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button and turn on the bell. Every single week on Income Decoded, I drop new videos breaking down real money strategies and real financial intelligence with real numbers. There is a free rich versus normal money mindset scorecard linked in the description below. It walks you through all 7 differences and helps you identify exactly which mindset patterns you are currently running and gives you the specific thought replacement for each one. Download it right now completely free, no catch. I will see you in the next video. Stay focused, stay consistent, and remember your financial freedom starts with a single thought. Let us go.